Okay, here again, we're going to be using the Excel. So the first, oh, not that one. So the first thing you need to do is save the file by going under File, Save As. Use File, Save As. Let's give it a name. This is Jeff's Home Loan. Of course, don't put Jeff and put your name in there. And I'm going to put it on my desktop or somewhere because you have to turn it in at the end of the class. Okay, so this is a fictitious mortgage company called the Townsend Mortgage Company. Okay, and so there's some videos that we can follow online. This comes from Pearson's book. Yes, I stole it from Pearson. But you didn't want to have to buy the $180 book just to get this lesson, so that's why I stole it and we're using it. Okay, so we're going to follow the video. We'll do it together. It's not that hard. Oh, I spelled my name wrong. Look at that. That's okay. So here we go. So first video. The first audio is pretty low, and then the second ones are very high.
Erica Matheson, a mortgage broker at Townsend Mortgage Company, analyzes mortgage data. She wants you to help her with the analysis, so she has provided you with a list of 5 mortgages to begin with. The worksheet contains the loan number, house cost, down payment, mortgage rate, and the length of the loan in years. You will enter formulas to perform basic calculations that can help her when visiting with the clients. The first formula calculates the amount financed. It is calculated by subtracting the down payment from the house cost. You enter the original formula with relative cell references.
Okay, so the first one is a subtraction.
Use the fill handle to copy a formula down a column quickly.
Okay, so here we go. Let's go to our Excel file here. So again, we want to find out how much money they need to loan, right? Because when you buy a house, you got to put down, like 20% or something. So we need to subtract the down payment from the total house cost. We're going to put that here, see the amount financed. So we're going to click in there. And if you remember, you should have your cheat sheet for the next quiz, because most of the answers I'm going to give you for that quiz right now. I'll tell you which one's on the quiz. So get your cheat sheet out for your quiz. Get your cheat sheet out for quiz 2. Write it down as quiz 2 cheat sheet. Quiz 2 cheat sheet. Quiz 2 cheat sheet. Okay, while you're getting that there, just write it down. The first one is for the quiz will be formulas always start with what? Equal sign. That's on the test. So formulas always start with which sign, and you're going to put down equal sign. Formulas always start with equal sign. That's the question on quiz 2. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to subtract C8 from what? B8, right? So we're going to do a subtraction. So we can put in the formula. What do I say? B8 minus C8, and then hit the checkbox, and it gives you the amount. So a simple mathematical equation, but remember, you're not putting the numbers in. Doesn't make sense to put the numbers in. You're putting in the actual columns and rows. So we want to take 80,000 from 40,000. So we start with 40,000, which is B8, and then subtract C8. Simple mathematical equation. Okay, now it doesn't make sense for me to do that with all the other columns, because we want to do the same thing for all these. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy the formula down. So to copy the formula down, I'm going to put my cursor over top of the little square at the very bottom corner here. If you look at, make sure your cursor changes to a black plus. See, it's a black plus. I'll hold the left mouse down. I'm going to drag all the way down to here, and watch how it copies the formula down. So if I hold my left mouse down here and drag down and release my mouse, it should drag the formula down with the corresponding. It does it automatically. That's the way Excel works. Okay, so make sure you get the black plus. Don't get the white plus. The black plus and drag straight down. And the white plus. So drag it. Click off. Click on. No, don't drag. You need to put the cursor over top of the little bit. Oh, there you go. Oh. Click and hold the mouse and now drag down. Drag, 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 drag. Release the mouse. Okay. You gotta have the cursor in the right spot. Okay, let's move on. Did you get it to work?
You didn't put it because you didn't put the formula in, you put the number in. You have to put the formula.
You have to put a formula in.
Stick it there.
The formula goes here in this box. There you go. You will have. Here, look, right here. B8 minus C8. Right there. Okay, let's move on.
Look at the copied formulas and notice that the row numbers in the cell addresses change as you copy the formula down the column because you used relative cell references in the formula.
Okay, the next one, rate period. We're going to divide E8 by B8 to give you a percentage. Okay, so what is E8? That's the percentage financed, right? And this is B8, is the total house cost.
An error icon displays to the left of cell F9, and cell F9 displays
E8 divided by B8
/0 exclamation point.
Oh.
This indicates that the
B5
copied formula has an error.
Okay, here, let me explain this one. So, there's 12 months in a year, right? Okay, here's the amount is your percentage, right? So we need to figure out what is the percentage by 12, okay? So we need to divide the E8 by B5. The problem that you're running into, though, is when you try and copy the formula down, it thinks it needs to copy this down, because remember how when we copied this, it just copied the formula from here, right? Right? So if you have the formula here and you're using this and this, it thinks you're copying down whatever, blah, 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 like that. So it's not going to work. That's why you got an error here. So you need to do what's called a fixed cell, a cell that doesn't change. Okay, the cell that doesn't change, or a fixed cell, it starts with a dollar sign. That's on the text. Fixed cell starts with a dollar sign. Here, this one. Dollar sign. Okay, that's for the fixed cell, the cell that doesn't change. So here we go. Let's try it. Again, it's E8 divided by B5. E8. Here we go. So we put an equal sign. Remember, equal sign, everything there. So if I put in, just watch me make the mistake first, and then we'll fix the mistake. Let's make the mistake first. What did I say? E8 divided by B5. Okay? And if I hit the checkbox, boom. Okay? But if I try and copy this formula down, I get the same problem that the video talked about, right? So how we fix that, let me undo that. How we fix that is instead of putting B5, we put a dollar sign in front of the B and a dollar sign in front of the 5. What that does is it makes it fixed so it's not changing in the formula. That stays the same as you copy. Now you can put your cursor there and copy down, and it should work. So if I put my cursor here now, make sure you hit the checkbox, put my cursor here and drag down, it should be okay. So see if you can do that. See if you remember that. To do a fixed cell, we use the dollar sign. Look at the formula right here. Equals E8 divided by dollar sign B, dollar sign 5. Okay, you got that? I'm going to continue.
In this instance, using relative cell references creates a problem with the copied formula. As you copy the formula down, the divisor, B5, changes when it should always divide by the value in cell B5. Pressing F4 changes a cell reference to absolute, mixed, or relative within a formula. An absolute cell reference is indicated by a $sign before the column letter and before the row number. When you copy the revised formula down the column, the mortgage rate on each row is always divided by the value 12 stored in cell B5, since it is an absolute reference. To find the total number of payment periods, multiply the number of years by the payments per year.
Same thing, $sign.
Pressing F4 twice makes the cell reference mixed, such as $5. The copied formulas always multiply by the mixed cell reference $5. A circular reference occurs when a formula refers directly or indirectly to the cell containing the formula. It is called circular because Excel attempts to take the result and use it to recalculate the result. A circular reference occurs because you use I8 within the formula contained in cell I8. The circular reference warning message box displays to describe the error.
Okay, let me stop that. He just make a mistake showing you how to get help if you make a mistake. But let me go back and let's do the next column, which is this one. Payment period. Okay, so in this case, he's making the payment period, again, you're going to be using 12 months, right? So there's 12 months a year, so you have to pay 12 times a year, okay? But what am I timesing? Well, the year is how many years you have to pay is right here next to it. So you have to do G8 times, of course, the B5 with the $sign in it makes it absolute. Now, you'll notice it has only a $sign after the 5. It doesn't have the $sign in front of the B. I don't know why when I typed it in earlier, we did, a $sign in front of the B, a $sign in front of the 5. I don't really know what the difference is really, but it still works. So again, to get the number of payments, you got to multiply this times this. So here we go. Again, for this one, we're going to do the equal sign, and we're going to do G8 times, which is times on the keyboard is the one above the 8. So you have to hold the shift key down and click the asterisk. It's an asterisk, right? Asterisk. And then you can put $sign B, $5, or if you want, he in the video just did B, $sign 5, and it also worked. So I mean, I'm not really sure. It still works either way. And then if you put your cursor along the edge there, right there, see where my cursor turns black, and drag straight down, and it should work as well. So again, yeah, it still should work. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't. I guess you don't need to do it twice. So again, it's equal sign G8 times B5. That is the number of payments, right? Simple multiplication. Okay, let's do the financed, which is this one right here. Yeah, copy it down just like you did so far, right? With the put your cursor in the lower right corner where it turns to a black, and then there. So do you all have that one?
If I put the $sign before B, it won't work.
So it didn't
When I
work.
copy, it won't work. So I have to
Okay, just put the $sign in front of the 5. Yeah. The $sign 5. $sign. Good. 5. Hit the green check box. Green one right there. Okay. And then put your cursor, remember, in the lower corner. Yep. Click and drag down. Release your mouse. There you go. Did you get that one? Yeah, that one. Equal sign. It's right there on the board. G8 times B $5. You okay here? You guys cool? Cool? Okay, let's move on. Okay, now they're going to start getting harder. I mean, that was pretty easy so far. They're going to get a little harder coming up. Not too hard, but. Okay. Did you get it? Okay, here we go. So we're going to do this one, the percentage financed.
Twice makes the cell reference mixed, such as $5. Note these formulas always multiply by the mixed cell reference $5. A circular reference occurs when a formula refers directly or indirectly to the cell containing the formula. It is called circular because Excel attempts to take the result and use it to recalculate the result.
So let's just see, you don't have to do this. He's just showing you how to get help if you make a mistake. So, right? So if I click on here and I go equals I8 divided by 8 B8 and then I click off, or I click this, it's going to come up with this message. Why is this message coming? Well, I made a mistake, right? I made a mistake, and it's giving you a warning message. Hey, there are one more circular references, which means that you're trying to make the formula inside the box that you called the box there. That's what it's basically saying. So he's telling you, hey, if you come up with messages like this, there is a help for you in Excel. If you hit OK, it should come up with the help. No, it didn't come up with a help. His came up with help. Well, if that doesn't work, there is a help window there underneath. Where's the help at? I know there's a help. Oh, here it is. It's help. It's a pull-down menu right there. It's at the top up there, and you got Excel help right there. And you got a whole bunch of good. There's some videos in here as well. And they give you information about formula basics, and they tell you things like you should know that formulas always start with equal sign, right? We already learned that. And so on, and they give you examples. Notice how you put parentheses around the formula you want to calculate a certain way together, right? Just like in your algebra class, right? You can group things together, right? You're grouping things together here, and then so on. So you can see you got equal sign, constants, operators, functions, cell values. These are all things you can put in there, and so on. So the help is very useful. We will use the help specifically when we go to doing, we're going to do some other formulas, and we look at the help, and the help helps us as well in another lesson. So just pointing that out. So what we want to do is the percent financed. Of course, you were going to be using the amount financed here, right? Because this is how much you're financing, and so on. So keep that in mind as we move forward here.
A circular reference occurs because you use I8 within the formula contained in cell I8. The circular reference warning message box displays to describe the error. When you click Help, the Excel Help window opens with more information about circular references. The status bar displays circular references I8 to alert you that the workbook contains a circular reference and where it is located. When you correct the cell reference in the formula, you remove the circular reference. When constructing formulas, determine if you need cell references to change or remain constant when you copy them. If you need a cell reference to change relative to the direction you will copy it.
Okay, let's do this formula before he continues there. So what is the percent financed, right? So we need to figure out, it's a divide. So we got D8, which is the amount you're financing by the amount that the total cost, right? So we're looking for the percent. What is the percent? Because, you know, if you don't put 20% down when you're buying a house, then you sometimes have to pay a fee. Okay, so we want to know if they put 20% down, or if they haven't, then they have to pay. So we're trying to calculate that. So that's what this is about, the percent financed here. So some people are going to have to pay a fee, and some people are not, basically. So to do that, we're going to go over here to our box here, percent financed. And of course, this is wrong, so I'm going to remove what I did first. So I'm going to put the equal sign in there, and what did I just say? It was D8 divided by B8, and then we're going to hit the little checkbox there, and it gives us a percent. And if we put our cursor right there below, and we can drag straight down, and it gives us our percent financed. Okay, again, this one is D8 divided by B8, and then copy it down. Okay, everybody cool with that? You ready to move on? Okay, let's move on. So we have that one, and then the end is here. This is the end of the video.
Relative cell reference. If you need a cell reference to never change when it is copied, use an absolute reference.
Dollar sign.
To simplify a formula, you can often use a mixed reference to prevent either the column or the row from changing as you copy a formula.
Okay, let's do number 2.
The details worksheet contains a section to calculate summary statistics for the 5 loans you are working on for the Townsend Mortgage Company. In this activity, you will calculate typical summary statistics such as totals, averages, medians, lowest values, highest values, and counts for the house cost, down payment, and amount financed values of the 5 mortgages you are evaluating. You will use built-in functions to facilitate the calculation of these summary statistics. Functions are predefined computational operations in Excel used to simplify the calculation process. You want to calculate the total cost of all 5 houses. Instead of entering a formula that adds the values in each cell individually, you will use the sum function. After starting the sum function, use the semi-selection method to select the range of cells that contain values that you want to include in the total.
Okay. So it's another kind of tricky way of clicking, so be very careful when you click and drag. I'm going to tell you how I do it, and because he does a lot of dragging in this. I tend to use the shift key to select an area instead of dragging, just because dragging sometimes is a little bit tricky. So an easier way that I have found is to hold the shift key down to select a group of things. So I'll tell you how I do it, and then there. So let's try. So again, it's total amount of houses here. So right, we have total houses. So we want to basically add all 5 mortgages up, right? Okay, so we want to add all the amount financed here, or no, total cost, all the total cost of all the houses right here. Okay, so we want to just add. And so, of course, the add is not called add inside of Excel. It's called sum. Sum, okay? So to get to the sum, I can go home. And in the home, oh, I got to make my window a little bigger here. Hold on. Okay, in the home window, you'll see this little symbol over here, right here. See it right there? Sum. It's right there. Sum. Right there, sum, that's the sum. It's the little squiggly line over there. If I click on there, it's going to put sum in there. Then it's going to ask me what range do I want. Notice it already starts selecting a range for me. See the little marching ants that is going around? There's like these little, I call them marching ants. Do you see them there? Of course, that's too much. I don't want all that. I just want the rows B8 through B12. Now I can go there and type that in, but another way of doing it is to select it. So here's how I'm going to select it. I'm going to click on the first one I want, which is B8. Notice how it selected that. Now I'm not going to drag. He dragged in the video. I struggle with dragging. So I'm going to hold the shift key down and I'm going to click on the very last one. Again, I'm holding shift key with my left hand. I'm going to click on the very last one and then I'm going to hit the little check box right here. Boom, and it'll be correct. So I do mine a little bit differently than he does. See if you can do that as well, how I did it. See if you can do that. I will come and see. Let me pause this for a moment. To see your Excel, there's a little plus. See this there? You can zoom in. See that? Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. So if you're struggling to see, you can zoom in. It'll help you. Okay, let's do the average. Okay, now there is one called average, right? So here we go. If I click on the one that says average right here underneath there, again, I'm going to go to where the crazy E symbol is, backwards E symbol here. And if I hit the arrow that points down, there's one that says average right there. Remember, average right there. So if I click on there, I can then go and click on the first one again. Again, here we go. I'm going to click on the first one again. And I'm going to click on the last one again. Same thing, holding the shift key down, and then I'm going to hit the checkbox. Boom. Did you see that? Do the same thing, but with the same exact thing, but with the word average in there. Now, median is a little bit different. Median is kind of like the middle ground. Let's watch the video. He explains it a little better than me.
Excel calculates the total value of all 5 houses, which is $1,521,200. Next, you want to calculate the average house cost. Use the average function to calculate the mathematical average of values in a range of cells. The function library contains commands for categories of functions. The average house cost is $304,240. You now want to calculate the median house cost, but you aren't sure where to find the function. If you don't know where to find a function in the function library, you can use the insert function command between the name box and the formula bar. Enter a name to search for a function and read the description in the search results. You can...
Okay, here we go. So we're going to search. So again, we're trying to do median here, okay? To do the median, we don't know. It's not in our pop-up menu. It's not over here. Look, there's no median there. There is more functions here where you can search as well, but the one he was kind of explaining to you is there is an FX right here. See the FX right there? If you click on the FX right here, it'll give you a box that pops up. Notice how it puts the equal sign in there already. And it'll start giving you, of course, this is a big long list. Look at all these. Woo! And they're in alphabetical order in general. Okay, so you could go down to wherever, or no, they're actually in categories, aren't they? They're in categories, so not alphabetical order. But you can hit search and you can type in median, M-E-D-I-A-N, median. Isn't that a road in San Jose? Or is it Meridian? Meridian. Oh, no, okay, I was a little wrong. It looks similar to that, doesn't it? Okay, so you find it, and then again, you can say insert function right here. You can read the description, what this does. Oh, it crashed. Oh, crashed on me. I have to start over. No, I didn't. I'm going to save mine. Save mine before it crashes again. Oh, I lost my sum. I have to get back to sum quickly. Hold on. Hold on. Welcome to a Microsoft product. Whoosh. Yes, hold on. We did average, right? Average. And then we did median. I'm just going to type it in. I don't want to crash again. Nope, that didn't work. Oh. Okay, let me just do it the way I was doing it. Equal sign. What were we doing? More functions. We did what? M-E-D-I-N, median, right? There it is. I was hoping to read it down here. Returns the median or the number in the middle of the set of given numbers. And we want to go from here to here. Okay, so the reason why the median is there is it's given you, the average is kind of deceiving because some loans are much higher than the other ones. So the median is there to give you the kind of middle of what the high value is versus the low value, if that makes any sense. Which brings me to the next one, which is lowest and highest and number of, so let's just go. We don't even have to watch the video. We already learned min, right? Min would be the minimum, min. So if I click on the min right there, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to come over to my pull-down menu. That is actually in this common one here, min right there. And we're doing the same thing again. Boom, boom, boom. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. Uh-oh. Forgot the equal sign. And we want to go from boom, boom, boom. Nope, I made a mistake again. Boom, 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 boom. Whatever. I'm going to start over here. Let me try again. Again, boom. We want to do insert min. Why is it not giving me a equal sign? Oh. Okay, this is not working for me. Let me try again. We want equal sign, and we want min, and we want, look, it's not even inserting the min. Oh, look. I'm struggling here. Maybe there's something wrong with my, since I crashed, huh? I'm gonna have to type it by hand. We're doing what? Oh, no, I'm messing everything up. Okay, hold on. Having problems here. I'm gonna have to type it in by hand. I don't know what's going on. Min, and we're doing B8, colon, B12, like that. Oh, like that. I don't know what's wrong with this. Let me try if I might have to restart. Yeah, mine's not working right at all. Let me type the rest in here by hand. So we're doing max next, and that's going to be B8 colon B12, like that. And then the last one is number of mortgages. That's going to be a count. So we're going to do equal sign count, C-O-U-N-T, since we did that already before. And that was B8 colon B12, like that. So it's always the same for in this section here. So there's a total of 5 mortgages. Okay, let me save this and restart. There's something goofy going on with my Excel. Doesn't seem to be working right after it crashed. Okay, let me start over. Okay, so get to that point. Okay. Again, I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to hold the shift key down, and I'm going to click on the last one. So I'm going to, remember, shift key. I don't like dragging. I don't like dragging. I use the shift key. Again, I'm going to click on this one, hold the shift key down, click on the last one here. I'm going to put my cursor in the lower corner. See how it turns to a plus? Remember the plus? This time we're going to go across horizontally. We're going to drag boom, boom across. Release our mouse, and the data then is updated all the way across. Let's save our file before we crash. Remember, I crashed already, so see if you can do that. Copy the formulas across. Okay, so let's get back to the video.
Collapse the function arguments dialog box so that you can select a cell or a range of cells for a particular argument. The median house cost is $329,750, indicating that half of the houses cost less than this value, and half of the houses cost more than this value. The median function is often more useful than the average function because the average function is influenced by extreme values. 3 other commonly used functions are min, max, and count. The min function identifies the lowest values in a range. The lowest house cost is $175,500. The max function identifies the highest value in a range. The highest house cost is $400,000. The count function identifies the number of cells in a range. In this case, the function indicates that the range includes 5 cells, or houses. You can use the fill handle to copy a range of functions to other columns. Excel modifies the ranges in the function arguments to calculate the summary statistics for the down payment and amount financed columns. results of the summary statistics change based on this new house value you enter in cell B9. You can use date and time functions to display the current date or time, or to perform calculations using dates and times. The today function does not require any arguments. It returns the current date.
Okay, we did that one already. Let's try it again. It's pretty easy. Yes? You gotta hold the shift key down. Click the first one, hold the shift key, click on the last one, number 5, there you go. Let your finger up off the shift key, off the shift key, off. There you go. You did it.
have to off the shift key.
After the equal sign, MAX, MA equals max, max X, B8 colon B12.
Now you
Click on
will
the
do
first
it.
one. The first one you already did.
4 million,
The shift key
400.
down.
That's the
There.
one number.
I'm gonna use 2 hands. Yeah, you have to use the mouse in there. On the last one, number 5. Hold the shift key down. Click on the last one. Let your finger off the shift key. Little black guy in the corner. Black cursor, yeah. Drag it up. It's a little tricky, but you'll be used to it. You need to do that every day. And this one's count. Yes, click. You have to put equal sign. Count. COUNT. COUO. Round bracket. And then B8 colon B12. You guys want to take a break for a minute?
Number 5.
I'll go get some water. Come back in 5 minutes though. I'm gonna finish this today. Colon B12. Then hit the checkbox. And I'm gonna copy this one. First select the first one. Click on the first one. Hold the shift key down. Click on the last one. No, don't drag. No dragging.
Look at that. Look at number 5.
Click on the last one.
Okay, now.
Put your
Remove
finger
the
up.
shift. Remove the shift. Now you put the cursor.
Cursor down there until it turns black. Drag that way.
Enter.
Release the mouse. Did. It's a little tricky, like I told you. It's where you click sometimes. Now let me pause this video. We're almost done with this. Oh, we didn't do the today. Did we do the today? That's where we left off. Remember the today. I'm going to go back up here where it says today's date. Click right there. Do you remember we did today already? And if you go to formulas right here where it says formulas right here, you'll notice you have date and time right here. See the date and time one right there? So if I click on pull down menu there, we're looking for one that says today. That one's on the test too, today. The test question asks you which function will return the latest date when you save your file. That's the question says that. Which function will return the latest date when you save your file? And your answer is going to be today. So remember that one. Okay, today is on the quiz, next quiz. Okay, let's continue. We're almost done with this. We're going to go to video 3. Okay, last part. Year payoff. This is tricky. Pay attention.
The year function returns 2011, the year the first mortgage was taken out. Initially, the result displays a date, but you can apply the number format to display a year. By adding the value stored in G8 to the result of the year function, the final calculation is 2036, the year that the loan will be paid off. You need to decrease the number of decimal points.
Okay, this is a little tricky. Okay, so let's think about it. When you're doing formulas in Excel, you just need to. It's kind of logical. It's like it's logic. You know, Spock would be pretty good at this, wouldn't he? Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. So what we need to do first is find out what is the date in this one right here. You know, what is the year? We're looking for the year that's in this. So we want actually the number 2011, but we can't just put 2011 in there because look, these ones are 2012 and this one's 2013. So they're not all the same date is the problem. So we're going to be using the year function to find out what year is in here. Okay, the year is 2011. Okay, then how many years do they need to pay it off? So we need to multiply that by how, or no multiply, add it by how many years, right? So 2011 plus 25 years will give you what? 2036, right? But the problem is this is a date, this is not a number. So you have to go and change it to a number to give you the real number. Okay, so there's some little mistakes in there that you need to watch how I do it, then you try. Here we go. Let me do it first, watch me do it, and I'll tell you what buttons I'm clicking and stuff like that. So here we go. We're going to click in here. Again, the first thing we're going to do is we want the year function. So we're going to go, you can type in year here, or we can go, I think date and time has year too, right? Year, there it is. So we're looking for year. Then it's asking me which column do you want year. We want J8. So we can type in J8 and hit the checkbox. And it's giving me 2011, but we don't want 2011. We need to multiply that by 25 right here. So we want to multiply by G8, right? G8, and then we hit checkbox there. And of course that doesn't look right because it says 2005. I don't know why. What is this date? This is confusing. Well, the problem is this actual the box is the wrong type of box. If you go underneath home, we want to change it from a date to a number. We want the number, which is going to be 2036. And then, of course, if you don't want the decimal places, there is a way to change the decimal places till you get that. And once you do that, then you can copy the formula down and release the mouse, and it will work. So let me show you the formula. Again, it's equals year, round bracket, J8, round bracket, plus G8, which is this one. This is how many years. And then making sure this box then again is a number and not a year. So see if you can do that. Okay, we're moving on to a new video. Last video. The fourth one we don't have to do, but I'll talk about it. Okay, here we go.
The payment info worksheet uses lookup, financial, and logical functions to calculate the annual percentage rate, or APR, the monthly payment, and the monthly PMI for the loans you are reviewing for the Townsend Mortgage Company. Rates vary based on the number of years needed to pay off the loan. You use a function to look up the years in column F for each loan, compare it to the years column in the lookup table in the range D4E6, and return the rate. The lookup and reference function category contains the VLOOKUP function. Press Tab to move to the next argument box in the dialog box. Press F4 to make the reference to the table array argument absolute so that it does not change as you copy the function down the column. The 2 represents the second column in the lookup table. Typing false specifies that the lookup function must find an exact match for the number of years. For the first loan, with
Okay, that was a little complicated. We'll do it together. Okay, again, I tried to explain this one to you last class about how you can look up information in one column and then pull data out of the other column. Remember that? I was just not doing it a little bit wrong, but hopefully we do it right today. Okay, so here we go. Again, being logical, there's another sheet. See at the very bottom down here where it says details, we're going to payment info, this sheet. See, there's two sheets here, two sheets. Well, I might save before I crash too. I want to start over again. So you might save before you crash. Okay, so what we're looking for here is we want to put in the number that, okay, so here's years, right? You got the word years here. So if you're doing a loan for 25 years, it's going to be 3.6.25%. If you're doing a loan for 30 years, it's going to be 3.750%. If you're doing a loan for 15 years, it's going to be 3.250, right? So what we're looking for here is that we want to be able to match this number to one of these numbers and then pull this data out and put it here. If that makes any sense. We want to match this to one of these, then pull this data and put it there. That's what we're doing. It's called VLOOKUP, okay? And we're looking up a range of data. To do that, we click in this box, which I have selected. We're going to go underneath the formulas option, and we're going to go to where it says lookup, right here, lookup and reference. I'm going to hold my mouse down. I'm going to go all the way down to where it says VLOOKUP. Okay, so again, it's called VLOOKUP. Notice over here we have the formula bar. So the first thing we're going to do is, what column are we looking up? Well, we're looking up this one right here. What year? F8, or F9 in this case. It's F9. So we're looking up F9. Now, what's the table array? The table array is a group of tables. Now, I can either put it in by hand or I can go and click on it. I'm going to click down here where it says table array. I can click from here and hold the shift key down and click to there. So I'm doing a range, 2 columns in 3 rows. Or I can type in D4:E6. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I want to pull out the data. What is the data I'm trying to pull out? Well, I'm trying to pull out the second column. So I'm going to put 2 in here. What is second column? Well, that's this one over here. I want to pull the data out of this number 2. This is 1. This is 2. So I'm going to put in 2 for the column. Next is if there's an error and doesn't work, then it needs to return nothing. Well, in this case, you need to put false in here, F-A-L-S-E, to make sure it's done. And when you hit done, it should give you the exact. Okay, so what it's doing again, let's just look at this. It's taking this, matching it to this range. It's going to find 25, right? And then it's going to say, hey, I want to take this data right here and put it there. Does that make sense? Logical? Then, of course, you can copy this down. Oh, look at that. What happened there? $sign I forgot to put in. The table needs to be an absolute reference. That's the mistake I made. So if I undo that, I'm going to go back to my formula. The D8, this all needs to have $signs in front of it. $sign D, $sign 4, $sign E, $sign 6. Now if I go and I copy, whoop, hit the little check box. Now if I copy my formula down, boom, it's correct. Okay, so go, this is the formula. I know it's a big one there, but see if you can type that in. Almost done, almost done. Be sleeping in no time.
In a 25-year term, the function returns 3.625% APR. Copy the VLOOKUP function down the APR column. You use the PMT function to calculate the monthly payment for each loan. The monthly payment represents the monthly amount required to pay back the principal amount with interest. The financial category contains the PMT function. Because these payments are made every month, you must divide the APR by the number of months in the year. Press F4 to make the divisor B5. absolute so that it does not change as you copy the formulas down the column. Multiply the number of years.
Okay, I don't really use the function keys because they're a little bit different on a laptop sometimes, as well as a Mac keyboard, Windows keyboard, and stuff. You know, the video here is great if I was just sitting at a desktop Windows computer with a Windows keyboard, then wonderful. You know, I can hit the F4. But in this case, we're not on a Windows keyboard, you know, so I know he says hit F4 and stuff like that. I tend to just put the stuff in.
So the funny thing is, when you do hit the F4, is it puts the dollar sign in front of both the letter and the number, like you were originally doing.
So it does work on these keyboards?
Oh, I did it on
Oh, you're on Windows.
Surface,
Yeah, he's using Windows.
I hit the button so the function keys do the function keys.
Yeah,
thing, right?
yeah. I just don't know, so I
The
don't.
number of months in a year to calculate the total number of monthly payments necessary to completely pay off the loan. Finally, enter D9 as a negative value in the PV box. Entering the cell reference as a negative makes the calculated result a positive value.
Negative plus a negative equals a positive, right? You remember that from your thing? Times a negative, something like that. Remember, in my school, I only had one math class, 6 years of college, one math. It was basic math too. It was like 2 plus 2 is 4, and I got a C in the class. So, be very weary of, you know, me and my math skills aren't very good. But programming I can do. You don't need to know too much.
How do you not need a bunch of math for programming?
Because as long as you know what you're doing in programming. Because I do, you know, Swift. It's very logical. A lot of words. Yeah, probably the hardest thing that I have to do in programming is calculating the bullet flying across the screen when you're making a game, right? And, you know, I have a formula that does that for me. I wrote it down and I just follow that. Okay, where was I at? Oh, we're going back to do the monthly payment here. Again, let's logically think about it. So he's using a PMI or PMT function, okay, which is going to give you these arguments, okay? So the first thing is the rate that you're paying, which is the G9 divided by B12, which is the number of payments, which is per month, right? That's what that is, the B5, and make that absolute. And then we're doing F9, which is this one. Is that a plus or times? Times B5 as well. And then we do a negative D9. Okay, so here we go. It's this one. To get to the PMT, we're going to go to financial, and we're going to go down to where it says PMT. It's under financial. And then the rate again was the G, or we're doing year. I think we're doing, yeah, we're doing G8. G9, I'm sorry, the 8 was in the previous one. It's G9 divided by the number of payments. So G9 divided by $B$5. And then this one's going to be the number of years, is it? Which is F9 times the number of payments. So this one's going to be F9 times $B$5, and then the PV value is negative D9, which is the amount you're financing, negative D9. And then if we hit the done button, it should give you the monthly payment. Okay, because you got percentage, right? You got percentage plus you have the number of years, right? Then how much you're financing to give you your total amount per year or per payment, how much you're going to payment. If we all only had that much to pay, right? People's rent is probably more than that. Maybe we should just move to Chicago. Texas is cheap, right? We could move to Texas, live in Houston, in the floodplain. Why not? There's a hurricane going that way right now. Yeah, there you go. Then copy that down. There you go. Look at that. Okay, last one. Woo, we're almost done. Last one. Monthly PMI. Okay, here's the monthly PMI. It's a little logical as well. Remember we talked about how if you don't put enough down in your down payment, you got to pay a fee, right? A PMI fee. Okay, and if you put, so look right here, let's just look here. If you put more than 20% down, you don't have to pay the fee. But if you put less than 20% down, you have to pay a fee. Okay, so that's what this monthly PMI is. So
9 as a negative value in the PV box. Entering the cell reference as a negative makes the calculated result a positive value. The first monthly payment is $1,723.73. Copy the VLOOKUP function down the monthly payment column. Lenders often want borrowers to have at least a 20% down payment. If borrowers do not make at least a 20% down payment, they pay a private mortgage insurance, or PMI, fee. The PMI fee is about 0.38% of the amount financed. You want to use the if function so that PMI is charged only if the borrower makes less than a 20% down payment.
So we got an if statement.
The logical test determines if a condition is true or false. In this case, the condition determines whether the down payment rate is greater than or equal to 20%. If the results of the logical test is true, then the borrower does not pay PMI, and the resulting value is 0. If the logical test is false, the borrower pays PMI, which is calculated by dividing the yearly PMI, 0.38%, by 12, and then multiplying the result by the amount financed. Copy the if function.
Okay, here we go. We're going to do it. I know you can. It's the last one for the day. Okay. We'll just do this one and you can go back to the other one. Just try this one, okay? Just click on the last one. So here we go. We're going to go to the very last column here. And we're going to go to logic. And this time we're going to do the if statement, which is the third one in the list here. I'm in the formula. Formula. Okay, logic, if statement. So what are we trying to do here? If this column right here, which is E9, if E9 is greater than or equal to B7, make that absolute, of course. So you want a $sign B $7, which is this 20% right here. So if this one is greater than or equal to this one, then what do you want to do? Well, we want to do 0, nothing. We're not going to do anything. But if it's not greater than or equal to that, we need to do something. We need to figure out how much they're going to pay a fee. Okay, so how do I figure out the fee? Well, you need to calculate a value. Let me get back to the formula. I have to. There you go. B7. Yeah. 0. So we need to calculate D9, which is the number, how much they're financing, times the B6, which is the PMI rate, divided by the number of payments. Okay, you guys can remember that, right? What I just said. Help me remember it. So we want D9. What did I say? D9 times the PMI. D9 times the $B $6. And then we need to add the number of payments, which is B5, which is divided by B5, because that's the number of payments, divided by $B $5, and we hit done, and I get a dash. Why did I get a dash? Well, the reason why is because the condition has been met, right? Because this is more than 20%. But if I copy the formula down, watch what happens. Oh, these people are paying a fee because they're not above 20% here. Okay, so see if you can figure that one out. Here's the logical statement right there. Okay, so again, let's just click in here. Remember, we were using the VLOOKUP. See it right here? And we had to put in D4, and then we had to put in E6 because we wanted these range right here. But another way of going about that would be to select all that stuff. See how I selected it all? Holding the shift key down, right? Don't drag. Drag's bad. Shift is good. So I shift clicked here and then here. I'm going to go to where it says define name. Do you see it right here? And so you can say define name, and we could give it a name. Let's say enter name. The numbers. How about that? I don't know. It's right here. Define name. It's right there. It's under formulas right here. Define name. So see how I called it the numbers right there? You can make any word you want up. Don't put spaces in. Spaces don't work. As long as you don't put spaces in.
Where do you camel case?
I don't know. I don't even know what camel case is. Don't know. No?
So you make the N capital, right?
Oh, you
Like
just
camel case with the first letters lowercase and every new word the first letters capital.
okay. I do that, but I don't know what it's called. It's all right.
Now you do.
So if I hit OK now, that word then can be used in your formula. So if I go back to my formula here, I can get rid of all this junk right there. See all that stuff right there? And I can put in the numbers, right? Remember that? Okay, and then I can hit the checkbox and it'll still work. So again, it's called define name. They called it range names in the older ones. In this one, they call it, I don't know, just a name. Okay, so it's called define name. Okay, so that's it. Make sure you save your file and turn it in on Canvas. There should be an assignment box. You get 30 whole points for this one today. I will come and help those of us who are a little behind. So let me stop my video here.